Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Bright Side of Beauty podcast. Today, I am joined by my friend Aubrey, and we actually met in a really cool way. So we met in real life before connecting on Instagram. And I feel like in today's day and age, normally it's flip-flopped where you connect on social media and then you meet up in real life later. But we met at Wear What Works in Orlando. Was that 2 years ago? 1 year ago
Yeah.
now?
Was
Two?
it 2? Gosh.
Almost. I think we're coming up
Almost
on
2.
two
Yeah, almost
years.
2. Mhm.
Which is wild. And I feel like we hit it off right away. We have very similar personalities, I think, very similar interests. We take our work to a very similar place too. So I am so excited to have you on today and let everybody know a little bit more about you. Can we start with you telling everyone how you got started in aesthetics? I know your story already, but we need to catch everybody else up.
Yes, so I got started in aesthetics, graduated in like 2006 from aesthetic school. And then I kind of went straight into dermatology. So I didn't really go into like the spa world. I went straight into dermatology. I really wanted to do medical. So I did dermatology and aesthetics in dermatology kind of before it was like a thing. So it was kind of just up and becoming, and I did a lot of assisting with the dermatologist. And then I, um, started, oh, let's do facials, let's do this. So it kind of just started out. And I actually remember the very first hydrofacial machine. I think it was 2008, 2009. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it got delivered to the dermatologist I was working at. And I just remember, them like, yeah, you have to charge $149 for this facial or 140, whatever the cap was. And I was just like, oh, how are people going to pay for that?
Yeah.
But that was kind of like how I started. I assisted the doctors. I learned a lot about skin conditions. So rosacea, acne, rashes. So I think that's helped me excel in my career as far as an esthetician because I can recognize those things and either recommend them for treatment or get them even on skincare because we have such advancements in our skincare now that we can actually help those conditions without clients even having to go to the dermatologist. So that's how I
Yes.
started. And then I kind of went into the med spa realm. And where I live in Citrus County, there wasn't any med spas. So I drove all the way to Ocala to work at my very first med spa. And I loved it. I stayed there for about 5 years or so and kind of went to another med spa in between that. And then I just kind of was like, I've been doing this for so long. I want to start on my own. So, kind of watching Victoria, seeing other estheticians do it, it really kind of sparked my interest to. I've been doing this so long, I'm kind of set in my ways with how I treat clients and all of that. And I think taking the jump to purchase the hydrofacial machine was probably the hardest thing. And that's kind of what, kept me back there
Yeah.
from starting my own thing a while ago. But once I did it, I just kind of went full force. And yeah, I have my business, Glow and Grace Aesthetics. I'm in Ocala, Florida right now, and I'll be opening a new location soon.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I didn't know that. Close to where
Yes.
you are right now, or are you
Mhm.
relocating to a different area?
It's kind of like it's a different area. I'm kind of just keeping it
Yeah.
a little secret for now, but
That's so
but
fun.
yes.
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Okay, there's so many different things that I want to talk about when it comes to your story and how you got here. And I love that you took the progression that you did in your career because I think that it really did set you up for success in your business. I can understand where making the purchase of the hydrofacial was probably the scariest thing of going out on your own, especially once you do become a little bit more established and you feel confident of like, okay, I've built my book of business. Even if I'm starting from the ground up all over again, I've done it before, I can do it again, right? But making that purchase is a little bit scarier. And when you have so much experience and you have a certain standard, you don't want to lower that standard. So it becomes a necessity to have
Yes.
certain devices, certain skincare lines to follow you because you have a reputation that you've already kind of set in stone with it. So I love that you waited until you could make that plunge of buying the hydrofacial machine, getting the lines that you love, and really making sure that like everything was you before you
Yes.
opened because you launched so fabulously. And if you have not connected with Aubrey yet on socials, you need to. We'll drop your socials at the end, but go ahead now if people want to follow while they're listening to
Yes,
us, what are your socials? Because you have two. You have your business
I
page
do.
and then you
I
have like your
My
aesthetics page.
SD. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yep.
my business page is at glow_underscore grace aesthetics. And then my SD page is aubrey.le _aesthetics. So
There
those
you
are
go.
my
So
two. Yes,
go connect. She makes really fun content, which is hard to do.
it
We can get
is.
into that too, but let's go backwards. So when you started in aesthetics, derm was really the area. Like if you wanted
Yeah.
to work with skin, it was derm. What did being an esthetician inside of a dermatology office look like in 2006, 2008 when you were first getting kind of your grounding as a professional in the industry? Like
You know,
what
it
would your day
was
look like?
Yeah, it was hard for sure because I don't think everyone was on page with like aesthetics yet, like that,
Mhm.
NPs and all the doctors. I think you had some that were like, "Oh, this is up and coming. We're going to do this." And then some were like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
so it was frustrating sometimes because I would want to get them on this skincare regimen. And then the PA or dermatologist would walk in there and write them a bunch of scripts and say, "Oh, CeraVe, oh, Cetaphil," and I'm just like, "Well, if you want me to sell your skincare, and get them on a
Yeah.
good skincare regimen, like I'm confused." So it was definitely hard. It was kind of like that push pull in the beginning, but it just slowly started innovating, and I think that helped tremendously. But I mean, even clients weren't used to that. I mean, it's crazy if
Right.
you look back just 10, 20 years, like we've made so much advancements in skincare and people are taking more care of their skin. They're making it a priority. I think, rewind 10 years ago, it really wasn't. So it was definitely hard for an esthetician to excel in this industry because social media wasn't as much of a thing either. So
Mhm.
it was more word of mouth, and your doctors and your NPs had to kind of support you and say, "No, you need to go see Aubrey. She'll get you on a regimen." And that was, that eventually started to happen when they started to see how important it was. But it
Yeah.
definitely was hard in the beginning, as far as like trying to get into the aesthetics. I would
Were
In my downtime, I would actually assist with surgeries a lot. I was a medical assistant and an esthetician because it just wasn't hopping yet. It wasn't a big thing yet.
That was my exact question is what were you doing in the office? Like, was it you were just assisting them in their treatments and things, or were you really standalone? Was it kind of this like you could see the vision, but you had to catch them up in a way?
It
Um,
was kind of like that. I was half and half. So I'd have like my facial days and then I would assist. I mean, I would suture. I did sutures. Like I would sew.
wow.
I assisted them in surgeries, regular office visits. And I loved following the one PA around because he did a lot of acne. So I would get so much knowledge and I was like, "Oh, I really like this." And the one doctor I worked for, he was all for like the aesthetics. And I remember when collagen pin came out, microneedling, that was like
Yep.
my first pin I got certified in. And I loved microneedling and I got so busy with it. And even he was like, "Man, you're really killing it." And I was like, "Cause this is an amazing service." And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it was kind of like that, just up and coming. And then I eventually got my laser license to laser hair removal. That was like in 2014, I did that. So
That I feel like that's when laser hair removal really popped off. Like
it
that's
did.
when everybody wanted laser hair removal. It was like that was like the trendy thing to
Mhm.
do was like if you did
Yeah.
that instead of waxing, you were of the elite type. Like that was the
Yes,
thing
it
to
was
do.
expensive then too. It's so crazy how much the price
Yeah,
has differed with laser hair removal now. When it first came out, it was like expensive. You're like, "Holy cow." But
it's so much
it's
more
kind
affordable
of
now.
yeah, it's way more affordable. It's way more popular.
Yeah.
And I think people are seeing the value of it too. So
Yeah. So did you fall in love with the type of skin that you wanted to treat while you were in derm? Or did that really come from the med spa? Did that just develop over time? Like, did you know from following that PA around that you absolutely loved acne and more sensitized skin? Or how did your interest really progress through the industry?
I think with acne, I wanted to understand it better because I think it's such a complex condition. And even now, I mean, you can treat one person and they get clear skin in 6 months, and other people, it's a constant struggle, and I think I wanted to learn more about acne. Rosacea always has been a passion of mine because I deal with rosacea, and I noticed that in my skin after I had my daughter. So I really kind of went on that passion of rosacea after that because I would struggled with it so much, and I was using medical grade skincare. So I'm like, why isn't this working? Why am I still struggling with this? Um, so yeah, definitely kind of towards the end in dermatology, I would say. But when I got into the med spa realm, that was when I really fell in love with like treating like just hydrofacial. I fell in love with hydrofacial. I
Okay.
had used it at the dermatology in the past, but it wasn't really like until I went into the med spa realm that I just created this huge clientele with hydrofacial. And that was when I worked in Ocala. And I just loved that device. I loved what it did. I loved, I don't know how people can't love hydrofacial. I love it, because you always have
Yeah.
people who prefer different devices, but I'm like, how do you not like hydrofacial? Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of where I fell in love with treating all skin. Like
Yeah.
you can do this monthly, and this is going to help your skin tremendously. And then getting into more peels and things like that. Microneedling. Once I had my hands on the first skin pen, I'm like, oh, this is different. I was like, this is
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
1,000,000%. And I could see where, as microneedling was really coming into, I would say, like mainstream, where people knew what microneedling was, you were still at the derm office, I believe, time frame wise, and
Yes.
using collagen pen, right?
Hmm. Yep.
So with that, I'm sure that that was kind of like a struggle too, coming off of like having patients that were on prescription, but then you wanted to do something like microneedling versus I would, I always say like the difference between a derm and going to a med spa or a esthetician is one is like prescription medication versus like therapeutic. It's
Yes.
almost like, okay, this is a really bad example, but like it's almost like the difference between like a chiropractor and a massage therapist.
Hmm.
Both are treating very similar pains, but from a different direction in a way. And that's really kind of like what you're doing. So then moving on to skin pen, where you're able to do combinations of hydrofacial with microneedling and do, what do you call it? Hydroneedling. We don't have a hydrofacial device, but I think that that's what
Yes.
it's called,
Hydroneedling.
right?
I do a lot
Hydroneedling.
of that. Yes.
I could see where like people would go crazy for it and get such incredible results just from being able to combine those modalities and the advancements in our industry and just like
Yeah.
science and knowledge and the products that they're using at home and everything as well. How did you decide like what product lines you were going to bring into your business based on like the clientele that you had? Did you have kind of like a niche clientele that had like a certain type of skin concerns, or do you treat like all over the board? And did that
I
help you kind of like nail down your skincare lines?
Yeah, I think treating all over the board, and I know just a personal experience with me with Skin Better, it transformed my skin. That was when my rosacea cleared, and
Yeah.
well, I guess you don't fully clear rosacea, right? It was definitely more maintainable. Um, so my personal experience with Skin Better, I fell in love with that product line, and Maestro just transformed my skin. And knowing that that line just because I mean I use Skin Medica in the past, I use
Hmm.
Zeo skincare in the past, Alastin, and I still had rosacea. Like nothing would calm it down. Nothing. It was,
Hmm.
and I think too, just using stronger retinols. Like I would always try a Zeo retinol, and it just was too much for me. I could not do it. And I tried, like,
Yeah.
oh, you have to get over the hump. You have to do this. And I'm like, I've been doing it for 6 months, and I was
Yeah.
still red. And it just, I'd wake up with pustules on my skin, on my face, and from the rosacea. And so I think trying the Skin Better, knowing I loved it, and then Hydrinity, I mean, their products are seriously corrective. I mean, I had so many clients that they have rashes around their mouth, and I would give them HA Restore, and it was like they didn't have to go to the dermatologist. Like, I'm not saying I'm a dermatologist, but it just is such a calming product, and it repairs your skin barrier. I think I learned a lot about skin barrier once I went
Hmm.
you know, off into the med spa realm and really didn't have that dermatology behind me to like, they're just prescribing
Fall
tretinoin
back
and
on.
all these antibiotics and for acne and, rashes, rosacea, and all that is a band-aid. It's not
Mhm.
getting to the root of the problem, which is inflammation. There is so much in our skin that is rooted from inflammation. I mean, melasma, rosacea, acne, it's all inflammatory. So if you can calm down that inflammatory response via a product and then get them, recommendations for a good diet and anti-inflammatory foods, you're treating a condition and not having to get on just a band-aid prescription. So,
Absolutely. Preaching to the choir. I say this all the time. That is like, oh, you're speaking to my soul right now. Because that is something that I struggle with as well, is managing my rosacea. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about because I don't think that it's talked about enough inside of our industry. I think that it's starting to be talked about a little bit more, but I think acne was really the lane that everybody was going down. And rosacea was kind of pushed to the side because it is a little bit scarier. It's kind of like dealing with melasma in those Fitzpatrick 4, 5, 6s, where you have that deeper melanin and you have more of that melanin throwback when you do things like peels or microneedling. It's a little bit scarier. And I think that rosacea was really put into that category of, well, if I can't make them happy quickly, I don't want to touch it. It's going to be too much
yeah.
stress. I don't want to deal with it. But we can attest to the fact that it is a niche that needs to be addressed. There are people out there that need our knowledge. There's knowledge, there's there's things to be learned and then there's knowledge to be spread. And we are kind of the vessels to be able to spread that. So if you have somebody that walks into Glow and Grace and they are dealing with rosacea or some sort of other inflammatory concern, where do you start with them? Do you start with skincare? Do you start with treatments? Walk me through like what that consultation would be like if I was walking in and I was like, I have no idea what to do. Can you help me?
So yeah, so it just kind of depends on how inflamed they are.
Yeah.
I've had a client come to me before, and her skin was so inflamed, and she was scheduled for a hydrofacial, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I don't really refuse hydrofacial a lot because I do feel like it is a device that you can customize to where it's great for sensitive skin. But she didn't need any exfoliation. Like she just couldn't handle it. Her cheeks were swollen and her just totally inflamed, redness. So I did a little mini facial, no steam. Steam even makes inflammation worse. Um, and I used Hydrinity HA mask and cold globes. And just, I had a really great before and after I posted on my Instagram. Just that calmed her redness down, and you could even see the inflammation leave her cheeks. So I knew then, I'm like, okay, we're dealing with huge inflammatory here. So I told her, I said, let's get you on hyacinth spray. Let's get you
Mm-hmm.
on just a gentle cleanser and Hydrinity HA. And here's a mask. I even gave her a mask to take home and do because I'm like, this will help so much. Because she was almost was like, it was painful for her,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be when you're inflamed that much, that redness, that tightness feeling can just feel super, super painful. So literally did that. She came back in 2 weeks, assessed her skin, and it was tenfold, like way more less inflamed. She was so happy. She would text me all the time. She still does. She'll be like, my skin is looking so good. And I love those texts because I'm like, that's awesome that she's so happy with her skin. So now we've
Yeah.
done a treatment plan where I've gotten her on quite a few, quite a few hydrofacials. I usually do the Hydrolock booster or the Protect Plus booster because I think those are great for rosacea and calming down that inflammation. And she's on a whole Hydrinity skincare. I don't have her on a retinol yet, but
Yeah.
I think we're going to get there. And she even kind of wants to do maybe like a factor 5 peel because it's not a super strong peel. It's more of that hydrating peel. So I have
Yeah.
recommended that for her too. So I kind of just, get them on skincare, get them on, maybe 3 products that is just going to target what they're dealing with. Um, some clients come in and you can get them on a whole skincare line and it's okay, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes budget is a factor. So I always like to really talk to them and work with them on a budget. Like, okay, like here's 1 to 3 products that is just going to treat and be good. And then we can slowly add in products. Because you never want someone, I've had it before, just working in med spas where, it's product sales all the time. And you don't want someone to check out and spend $600 in product and just feel so overwhelmed that they don't like it. You know, it's almost
Mhm.
like you want them to come, oh, I like how this is doing. Let me get more. Let's try this. So I think it's a step by step process for some clients. Some clients come in, they're like, whatever you want, whatever you think I need. And, you know, then you can kind of say, okay, well, let's do this, this, and this. But with other clients, it's definitely more of that step by step. And I like doing it that way because I think you build trust. And I think in our industry, trust is huge for our clients.
It absolutely is. And that starts, I think sometimes that starts on social media. Most of the time, that's starting the second that they walk in our door, or even picking up the phone, sending us a message to get scheduled. Really, that's when it starts. That's when the consultation process begins and that trust starts being built because at that first initial contact, they are reading you to see, okay, are you going to be empathetic to this pain that I'm feeling? You're absolutely right. Rosacea, especially, can be so painful and definitely in Florida too, with some of the heats and
Yes.
humidity that you deal with at certain times of the year. I remember when I lived in Florida during specifically during the summer and then going into fall, like really into like October even, I just felt so puffy and hot all the time. Even if I was in frigid air conditioning, my face still felt hot because I wasn't able to regulate what inflammation was happening through really throughout my entire body, but specifically through my face. And that I love that you start with what they're doing at home and you go to really like the root cause of the inflammation first before you try to do all these different treatments and get them in like a whole plan because it's a lot more digestible that way too.
Yes.
I love all the products that you're saying too because I think hyacinth is one that is totally underrated for people that are dealing with
100%.
inflammation.
Yeah.
I think people look at hyacinth as like a hand sanitizer for your face, which it really is. Like it's great at killing that bad bacteria. It's great for healing. I actually use it on my son instead of using diaper cream because it
Yeah.
just gets better results. Like
Yeah.
truthfully, it cleans everything
There's
up and like keeps
definitely,
him.
and your acne clients love it, but it is one of those
Yes.
things that they're like, "Well, do I need the spray?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you do.
I
You need the
promise as
spray,
soon as you
and
stop, you'll
it'll last
notice.
you forever."
It
But
does.
yes,
It lasts
yeah,
forever. What I love though about hyacinth specifically for rosacea and more of the inflammatory side of things is it is balancing out your pH levels. Of
yes,
course, it's killing that bad bacteria. And a lot of times people do not realize that their inflammation or their imbalance in their skin actually is coming from an imbalance in the good and the bad bacteria. Going back to barrier health and saying that, like, you've learned a lot about barrier health and how to strengthen the barrier. That is so important with these inflammatory conditions to really get down to the root. And hyacinth is such an easy, like, grab and go thing to add to your routine. And then from there, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you here. So I love restorative from Hydrinity. It
mhm,
I always I always like pause because there's restorative from Elastin, which I also love, especially their new formulation of it with the added HA. They basically took the HA Immerse technology and put it into restorative skin complex, the original one. So it's actually hydrating now and you're getting a lot of those properties. But restorative from Hydrinity is incredible for rosacea.
incredible.
Absolutely incredible. Two completely different things though. So when you say restorative, you've kind of got to like pick a lane of like
Yes,
which brand is it. So
yes,
restorative from Hydrinity versus Maestro. I also love Maestro from Skin Better and I want to talk more about that too. But if you had to pick one to start with for your patients or for your, do you call them patients or clients?
um, kind of both, yeah, because
I
I've
do
worked,
too.
like,
I go
in
back
the
and forth.
medical field, so it was, like, patients, but then I say clients, so yeah.
Yes.
Um
So for your patients, which one, if you had to pick one based on like their very first visit, which one would you grab?
I would always grab restorative HA because
Yeah.
I do feel like that one's more, um, it's treating it more. It's treating that inflammation more. Maestro, I love for redness, but I think you get quicker results with restorative. And Maestro
Yeah.
treats other things too. So Maestro, you have the, the pores, the clarity of the skin. You're not going to get that as much with restorative, but you're going to get that instant calming with restorative. Like literally, like
Yes.
I had a client who had, just like eczema in the lines of her neck. And I'm like,
Yeah.
use this. I mean, literally within a few days, I have a, before and after of that too. Like it just total, like, not using triamcinolone, which is your, steroid cream. So I feel
Mhm.
like restorative is like your non-steroid steroid cream. Like it
I love
literally
that.
is like, you can be like, if you have a rash, use it. Same with hyoscine, you could spray
Yeah.
that. That's those two together are like healing. They're just so healing, you know.
Yes.
Um, so I would definitely gravitate towards that because I feel like of the inflammatory part of it too. Um, and then later, add in the maestro. Maestro's hard too because I love my maestro, but it's expensive, so it's hard. Someone coming to you, never been on skincare, only use CeraVe or Olay, and then you're like, well, here's this
Yeah.
product. So you
Mhm.
do, I mean, like I said, I believe in the science behind Maestro. I've seen it do wonders in my skin and my client's skin, but I feel like if you throw that product at them first, it doesn't
Mhm.
build the trust as much. You like, okay, well, let's start with this, let's start with that, and then kind of just get up to that point, and then they trust you and they are like, okay, yes, like this is helping. Because a lot of it, with skin too, is mindset. Because you can have a client come in and you're like, oh my gosh, your skin looks so much better, and they're like, really? And you're like, really? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
they don't see it. And that's why before and afters are good. But I
Mhm.
think it's a lot of it's mindset too. If they trust you, then it's just this whole like ladder that I feel like I kind of like to climb with them.
Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, I mean, restorative HA is just, the science is crazy. I mean, Hydrinity hit the nail
Yeah.
on the head with that one. So
It is. I absolutely love it. I was definitely I gave it a lot of pushback at first, like to
did
try
you?
it. Yes, our Hydrinity rep came in I for oh my gosh, 2 or 3 years, and we just were like, "No, we're not interested whatsoever." And I don't know what switched it one day where I was like, "I feel like this could be." Honestly, it might have been your Instagram and watching
Really?
you talk about it for so long that I was finally like, "I just wanna try this for myself." Like, I just wanna see if this works for me, and the results that I had were absolutely incredible. That's actually why we decided to bring Hydrinity on, was I started using Hyacin on myself, and I actually got Hyacin for my son specifically. I started using it and I was like, "No, I'm never not going to have this. I need it in my bathroom. I need it in the diaper bag. I need this everywhere we go." I'm bringing Hyacin, and then started on restorative, and the results that I had personally, we were like, okay, well, we can't deny this. We have to bring on,
Yes.
even if we're cherry picking and we're only bringing on certain products from Hydrinity, these have to be in our office. And we did. We started to slow roll into Hydrinity. The mask was another one. So the restorative HA mask that you were talking about using the ice globes for, it again, same thing. It's absolutely incredible. I love lipid recovery mask from Epicutis. We actually sell both, but I feel like there's a difference in the inflammatory response that you get from using restorative HA mask versus lipid recovery mask. Like
Yeah.
it's a big
I've
difference
tried that
that you
one
get there.
too. I do like that one. Um,
Yeah.
I just like everything about Hydrinity. I love, like, their packaging is just so
It's
bougie.
pretty.
It's
Yes.
so pretty. And it's like the rose gold, and that's kind of my logo color of the butterfly, is like that
Yes.
rose gold. So I created these cups one time, and I had them engraved, laser engraved with the rose gold butterfly.
Yeah.
And then I put a prelude, I put a mask, I put all little Hydrinity stuff in there, and it was just
Oh,
like,
so cute.
oh, this looks so cute.
I
So,
love that. I love that so much.
and they went quick. Hmm.
Yeah, our colors are very much so in the Skin Better kind of lineup of
Yeah.
things. And so when we brought in Hydrinity and they were on the shelf, I was like, oh, wait, this is really pretty because it's kind of like all of our colors blended together on the shelves right
Yes.
now. And I love Alastin's actually in the middle of doing a little rebranding situation. So soon, all of our products are going to, like, you're gonna be able to tell the different lines based on the colors, but somehow I don't know if they just really love us and secretly in the back of their minds they're like, we're gonna do this for Beyond Skin Aesthetics, but
Yeah.
somehow it is matched up where all of our colors are all
That
these
is so
different
cool.
lines. It's
Yeah.
gonna be perfect.
That's
Um,
awesome.
I absolutely love Maestro. Maestro is another one that I used when it first came out. But again, the price point wise, I really was like, I don't know. I feel like my results have not been as incredible as the price point is on this. And so I stopped using it for forever. Our rep came in a couple of weeks ago and she was like, I'm handing this to you. Please take this home and use it. Just add it in with your routine. So really my big change in my routine was Hyacin, then Restorative, and the Maestro. And that was also absolutely incredible, adding Maestro into it. What I hear all the time with Maestro that I think confuses people is, so Maestro is a plant adaptogen. And
Hmm.
people will say Maestro's a plant exosome. And so then it's like, well, why would I use Maestro versus plated exosomes,
Oh,
or
yes.
vice versa? Why would I use plated instead of Maestro? And I know that
Yes.
you also love plated.
Yes,
Yes.
I do.
How do you fit plated into the conversation, especially when it comes to rosacea, but really just with anybody? How do you fit plated into your conversations?
So I haven't, so I love plated. I haven't fully, like, I have a link. I haven't fully brought on their, the, the, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain. The gold serum. Oh my gosh, intense.
Intense. Yes.
I
Yep.
haven't fully brought on. I have the eye, but I'm going to do like with
Yeah.
skincare, I've taken baby steps because,
Hmm.
it gets to be a lot when you like order and then you're like, oh, I'm out of this, I'm out of that, I'm out of that. And then like you're, everything you
Yeah.
brought in that week goes towards skincare.
Yeah.
So I have a link for that. I haven't fully, brought that one on yet, but I do recommend it. And I do love it for rosacea. I mean, that redness, it's great. I mean, if you did plated, like this is what I do. I do plated, and the Maestro, and that's just
Yeah.
like a double whammy. But super
Yes.
amazing science behind both products. I think what I love about Maestro is what HA Restore won't do as much is Maestro gives you a glow. It gives you that skin clarity and your
Hmm.
pore, like the pore size, that's huge with Maestro. So I
That's
do
so
think you
true.
have those little extras too, and then calming down the, inflammation and all that with the rosacea. But I mean, definitely an amazing, amazing product. Um,
Yes.
and Plated, I love their eye. Like I'm obsessed with their eye cream. It's just their serum. It's amazing.
It is so good. So good. And honestly, for everybody out there, if you are really interested in trying plated, but you just haven't pulled the trigger on getting intense or daily, I would start with eye.
Yes,
There
that's what
are
I did.
only a couple, yes, there's only a couple things in eye that are different from intense,
Mhm.
that really set it apart to be eye specifically. It's a much better price point. You can treat an exorbitant amount of your face with eye. So like when I do eye, I put it on, but then I end up literally bringing it like
I
all the
know.
way. So basically I'm just missing like the top of my forehead and like the bottom of my cheeks,
Yes.
but I use eye everywhere else because that caffeine inside of it too, like it's giving you that added boost with everything, but you're getting the exact same exosomes. So they are the platelet rich exosomes, which back to the beginning of how plated came into the conversation, when you're looking at the difference between plated exosomes and plant adaptogens, they are two completely different things. So I hear a lot of people say, well, I use plant exosomes. They are not think of quote unquote plant exosomes or plant adaptogens as more like in the growth factor category, is how I would put
Mhm.
it, versus putting
Yes.
them in the exosome category. I think people are grabbing onto the exosome word and they're just running with it.
Yeah.
But those are completely separate things. All so beautiful though when it comes to the inflammatory game, the rosacea game, really just the skin game in general. But I love Maestro when it comes to like people that want that glass skin effect. That's
Yes.
very, very, very true. Okay, so I mentioned at the beginning, we met at a Colorescience event. I
Mhm.
know you
Yeah.
brought on Colorescience, and I feel like it's been pretty big for you. Do you feel like it's been
Mhm.
a huge part of your business?
Yeah, like it was hard because, each company has buy-ins, right? So you have to
Hmm.
do that and it's scary. You're like, oh. But I
Yeah.
literally did the buy-in and I think not even a month later I was placing another order the same amount. So
Yeah,
huge with color science. It's fun to make videos with color science. You put on
it is.
do all your cheek and and their mascara. Oh my gosh, I will never use another mascara.
It is
Like
so good.
it is so
So good.
good. So
As soon as
and
they came out
they're
with the brown,
I don't even I know.
done.
Oh yeah, I don't have any brown. I love black mascara though. Um,
Yeah.
but their sunscreen, like I don't wear makeup at all.
Yeah.
It's all Colorescience. Underneath eyes, face, everything. It's tinted sunscreen, but it is
Mhm.
just, I try to get all my clients, I'm like, listen, we can get your skin to where you don't have to put on all this cakey makeup,
Yeah.
because they're all like, oh, I want the glow like your skin. And I'm like,
This is what
it's
it
not.
is.
Yes, this is what it is.
Mhm.
Skincare, treatments, and just using colors. And once I get them on it, they're like, that stuff's amazing. I don't use anything else, and
You're like, "I know."
I know, so good. Um, and just like, I love how they're coming out with like the new colors of the color bombs. Like I brought on all
Mhm.
those. I have everyone. I have Golden Hour on now. I don't know if you can see.
I love them. I go back and forth between Golden Hour and Savannah. Those are
Oh
really
yeah,
well,
I do
and
both
I
actually.
love Glow. Yes, I feel like it's just
I
the
do like
perfect
Savannah under
combo.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so
So
much
I
fun.
love
And
their stuff.
you
Yep, go ahead. Sorry.
you didn't bring on the whole line, right? You only brought on certain things or certain colors of certain things?
In the beginning, but now I have almost every color. I
I love it.
think
It's a
the
slow
only
build.
color I don't have is like pink sky because I felt like violet haze, or berry. I don't have berry because I felt like violet haze and berry are
Yes.
so similar that I kind of just was like, you know. But
Yeah.
I mean that it's just, and I love, there's something about going to those seminars. I love Alicia. She is just such a
I
positive
love you, Alicia
person.
Merlot.
I know. She is just such a positive, but everyone is, even my rep, Ariel, everyone is so positive there, and you have fun, and they just make you feel included. And it's just, it's just a really great company. I think it's just, I love like everything
Yes.
that they are. So,
Yeah, fingers crossed. So this episode is going to come out after I get back from Aesthetic Next, and I'll be there with the Colorescience team too. So they have Wear
yeah,
What Works in Dallas, and then they're at the event the whole week. And this year they were nominated for Industry Partner of the Year.
I did
I
see that.
I feel like I was fighting so hard. Everybody that like was putting in a vote for nominating me for Esthetician of the Year, I was like, will you put Colorescience on too, please? Because like they deserve this so much
Yeah,
because
I did.
exactly what you said. Like they are so uplifting and supportive and they want you to really succeed in your business. But at the root of Colorescience is the science. It is like actually healing the skin, improving people's lives, protecting skin.
Mhm.
Being in Florida, I'm sure that that is a conversation that you are just really driving home to people of if you want results, one, you need to be wearing sunscreen. If you're just taking it to a vanity metric of you want your results to last, because the fastest thing you can do is go out in the sun, especially for things like melasma. Fastest thing you can do is go out in the sun or the heat without sunscreen on. So that's like protecting your vanity metric of things. But also when it comes to protecting yourself from skin cancer, you want to be able to absorb all of that wonderful vitamin D, but also not get to that harmful level where you're putting yourself at risk for skin cancer, melanoma. There's so many lives, I feel like, celebrity lives that have been taken by melanoma in the last year or so. Jimmy Buffett being one of them, which I
Mhm.
cried for days over. I love
Oh,
that man. I was named after him. So I'd like to me, I
yeah.
was like, no, this is a family member that just passed
Yeah.
away from melanoma, like Mr. Sunshine himself. It's very important to be wearing your sunscreen. I just went on a whole tangent. Where was I going with this? With the science behind
Yes.
Colorescience. So what I love about their events and like where we met, one, you get the community, you get to meet people,
Yes.
and our friendship came from it, but
Yes.
they
No.
really go into learning the skin and they give you these really tangible um, facts and knowledge to take back that goes beyond their products and themselves. And I'm sure you probably have this conversation with your patients, but what I love about their products is that it adds to the actual treatment. So, and I'm not even talking about like All Calm SPF is one that I absolutely love being a rosacea girl, even up for those with melasma because it's the color corrector. You're getting the treatment serum all in one. So, obviously, because it has the treatment serum in it, you're getting the treatment all in one.
Yes.
But even when it comes to their face shield flex, their color bombs, you're treating the skin when it comes to these inflammatory conditions because it's cooling down the skin with the mineral SPF all day long and the zinc. It's helping to, the zinc part of it in general is helping to really sterilize the skin. So you have that with your hyacinth and you're getting rid of all that bad C. acne bacteria. that's causing acne and causing these breakouts and all this inflammation and everything. Do you have that conversation with your patients? How do you present that of like, not only are you going to glow, but
Yeah.
this is actually helping us reach your goals here?
Yes. Yes. Well, and just the zinc calming everything down. I mean,
Yeah.
100% zinc in general. And also, they're not adding color or dyes to make the color. It's the iron oxides.
Yes.
Like, how cool is that? Like,
Yes.
so I'll tell them, be like, listen, they're not, some of them are probably like, oh, that's cool, but I get so excited. I get like all geeked up about it. I'm like, this is not actually adding color in or
Yeah.
dyes into it to make the medium and dark and tan and all these colors, or even the color bomb colors. It's literally the
Mhm.
iron oxides. They've made these beautiful colors out of it. And I just think it's amazing. I'm like, that's so awesome. So
It
definitely
is
more of
so
that
cool.
natural to where it's not, using
Mhm.
all of the artificial dyes and all that. And I think
Yeah.
that's huge. Um, this day and age too, people are more concerned about natural, they're organic, all of
Mhm.
that. I mean, I did just bring on
Yeah.
Eminence Organics, and I love it. I wanted something that was more spa-like for my esthetician to do her facials, and
Yeah.
smells amazing, and it's all organic. And I think you can, we've been plugging some of it in with the medical grade skincare, and clients are truly loving it. And I think you just have a certain clientele that's really focused on that. And I like that about Hydrinity too, because they use a lot of botanicals. So
Yeah.
they're just, it's kind of becoming more of a thing now, which is great. I mean, there's so many chemicals out there. I think we need to focus more on organics, and even with our skin, what we're putting on our skin and things like that. So, but I
Yeah.
love that about Colorescience, that it's not adding all of that in like a makeup would.
Absolutely. I tell everybody, and I think people look at me sideways when I say it, but I actually use Barrier Pro cleanser as my son's like full body wash. Like I don't use like baby wash on him. I use Barrier
Yeah.
Pro cleanser because it's a pro postbiotic cleanser. I know what is inside of that bottle. I know that it's actually helping to balance out his skin and build a healthy microbiome from the outside. So I feel like what you're using topically, especially on your kids, but like think of that like on your face in general. If you're paying attention to what's going inside, you need to be paying attention to what you're applying outside. And I think that that conversation has really picked up recently where people are a lot more conscious of, is this lotion that I'm putting on my hands actually giving me toxins in my body that I didn't realize, like this specific ingredient is actually leaving traces of this in my bloodstream because it's absorbing because I'm putting it on so much, or like the conversation is kind of spinning with that. Do you feel like that's something that you hear? Okay, loaded question. Do you two-part loaded question. Do you feel like people are asking that question from you when you come in? And do you feel like being in Florida, it's an easier conversation for you to have of all sunscreen is not toxic as much as it's important to pay attention to what brands and formulations of sunscreen you're using?
Yes. Yes, definitely.
All
Because
of
I
the above.
think you don't have a lot of clients, you have some people that are like, oh, sunscreen is, I don't know if it's trendy on TikTok right now or something, but
It is.
sunscreen is cancer or whatever. And I'm like sitting there thinking, no, you don't wear it, you're going to get cancer. But is as long as you're using like, and that's huge with like melasma and acne.
Mhm.
I don't like chemical sunscreens at all. I try not to sell like any type of chemical sunscreen, and any, because even some brands, like, I love Face Reality, but they have some chemical sunscreens in some of their sunscreen products, and I don't sell
Mhm.
that one because I think that chemical sunscreens create more heat under the skin, which is going to cause more inflammation. And I think that's where some people are like, man, I wear my sunscreen and I like my eyes burn and I get burning, and I think it's more of those chemical
Yeah.
sunscreens. And they're like, well, I can't just buy one over the counter. And I'm like, no, there's a big difference between
Yeah.
the formulation of the zinc in general, if it's encapsulated, if it's not encapsulated. And they don't understand that, and it is hard to explain it into their terms. But I mean,
Right.
that's why, I think I did a reel a little while ago on why I don't recommend over the counter products. Like, I just truly don't recommend them. If you're going to ask for my recommendations, I'm going to give you products that, number one, I've been trained on. I know the science behind it. I believe in it. I
Mhm.
see the results with my clients. You don't know what's in your Neutrogena sunscreen. You can look on the back and see all those chemicals, but I know what's in my Colorescience sunscreen or my Skin Better sunscreen. And, I use it and we've seen it work with our clients. So
Yeah.
I think it's huge when you're trying to explain the over the counter versus, medical grade, clinical grade skincare.
Yeah.
It's just a big difference. I mean, I've been in this industry 20 years. I started with original Obagi Nuderm system. So I've
Mm-hmm.
used medical grade skincare for that long. And I'm here to tell you, like, it works. It's not something that, oh, well, I can just buy any hyaluronic acid over the counter. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
there's total difference. I mean, that molecule might be huge and it's just sitting on top of the skin. It's not penetrating. Whereas Hydrenities is formulated to actually penetrate and get into the skin and work. So just a
Yeah.
big difference there. And I really try to push that with my clients because it's such a big difference. And once they try the products, they see it and they're like, wow, I can see a difference in my skin. But it's just
Yeah.
getting them to switch, to not like
Mm-hmm.
ordinary product to, a product that is actually, studied to treat a condition. So, and
Doing
then, you
something.
have those lines like the ordinary, and I'm not bashing the ordinary, but, they have $6 serums and it's, oh, this is glycolic. And so you're picking up like 5 different serums when you could get one Skin Better product that has all of those serums in it, all of those ingredients. I'm sorry.
In a
And
stable manner that's
yes,
actually penetrating your skin in the
yes,
proper way. The delivery systems are working. Going back to just the efficacy of it, the delivery systems are everything inside of the products that you're
everything.
using. So, yes, you can go get a hyaluronic acid from the ordinary, but is it an alcohol base
Mhm.
versus actually being like, or because in the ordinary, they use alcohol to stabilize their HA. So when you use it for a long period of time and then you're like, why am I still so dry? Well,
That's
like most products have alcohol somewhere in them, but
yes,
they should be really low on that
really low.
product list versus
Yes,
like hyaluronic acid right next to it, alcohol.
alcohol.
That's not
Yeah.
actually like hydrating your skin. Whereas if you're using a Hydrinity hyaluronic
Mhm.
acid, if you're using like I love Elastin's HA Immerse as well. When I put those two side by side, I feel like they're not even in the same like they're both a hyaluronic acid, but that's also like saying that HA Restore from Hydrinity is the same as Face and Neck from Skin Better.
Yeah.
All of it is a hyaluronic acid, but the delivery systems is what makes it do its job. And the
Mhm.
combination of all of these ingredients, you can't just go, your example is perfect of go get the ordinary of all these different ingredients and put them together and think that they're going to do the job of all of these different serums
You
that
end
are
up spending more.
formulated in
You
a
end up
certain
spending more,
way.
and you're using 10
Yes.
different products, when it could just be combined in one. And,
Yeah.
I you hate to say it, but it's kind of with almost everything. Like there are some things where
Yeah.
like, your bougie prices, like, Chanel skincare or like things
Hmm.
like that, they're going to be expensive because of the brand.
Yeah. The name
But
on it.
when you're looking at formulation, that's why medical grade skincare is more of an investment because they're not formulating it with alcohol. So it's
Yeah.
not going to be a $6 hyaluronic acid, but do you want to put a $6 hyaluronic acid on your skin as opposed to something that's formulated and can actually penetrate and not just sit on top or dry your skin out because, it's has the science behind it. So I think
Yeah.
it's definitely a conversation you have to have. And then once they don't know, they're not educated. That's why we come in,
Hmm.
we're educated, we know about these products and it's helping their skin. Selling
Yeah.
skincare is not about revenue that you're bringing into your business. It's more of like, you need this because this is going to help your treatment plan. And this is going
Spot
to
on.
help. Yes. It's such a, I think some people think, oh, you're just trying to sell me something. I'm like, no, I'm really not. Because with skincare, you really, there's not a huge, a lot of revenue in it. You're selling it because this is what you need. If you
Yeah.
want to get your monthly hydrofacials, you want the glowing skin. It's like going to the gym. You're going to do all those ab workouts to get a six pack. But if you come home and you eat French fries and burgers, you're not going to get the six pack. You have to follow it up with good, healthy eating and all of that. So I think it's the same with skincare and treatments. Don't spend the money in the clinic and then go home and use a $6 serum on your face.
I totally agree. And I love that society is starting to shift to where skincare is a part of daily hygiene. It's part of
Mhm.
healthcare in a way. They're
Yes.
seeing it as, okay, I'm protecting my skin's barrier. My skin is my largest organ. I think that we've now said that line so many times that society is starting to take that on of like, oh, wait, you're right. Skin is an organ. I can get skin cancer, or I do need, like, I'm having all of these things happen because my barrier function is out of whack. So I need to give it the nutrients that it needs in these different skincare products. And they're starting to look at skincare products as nutrients for their skin, which I absolutely love, especially when it's coming from good sources, not
Yes.
from, the Sephora trendy brands in the world. It's definitely so much better from that side of things, 1,000,000%. And I love that that's becoming more mainstream to take care of your
Yeah.
skin for sure.
100%.
I feel like honestly, I could talk to you for forever and ever and
I
ever.
know.
And I'm going to have you back on the podcast. I didn't prepare you for this. So I'm really putting you on the spot with this
Okay.
question. I ask all of my guests the same question, and that is, what is beautiful to you? And that can be something that is in the physical sense. We are in the industry of beauty, right? Or it can be something that is more in like the spiritual or emotional, like mental health side of things. And you can give two answers if you want to give
Okay.
both sides of things. But what, Aubrey, is beautiful to you?
So I think I'll answer it in like an industry sense, but what's beautiful to me is when a client, and I'm going to get emotional, I don't want to get emotional, but I am, but when a client is confident in their skin. So I have so many clients that walk through my door, and acne is one of them, and I just see it, and I just see it in their face. So I think it's beautiful to be able to help them, get them on a treatment plan, and then they come back and their skin is better and you can see it in their confidence level. So I think being confident in your skin, it's not all about, um, you know, just being beautiful. It's feeling beautiful and feeling confident. So I think that's huge in our industry. And I think if you, sorry, my dog's barking. I think if you instill that in your client, like you're just going to build a huge trust with that client and they're going to come back to you because they feel comfortable, they feel confident, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's why I got into this and why I still do
I
it.
I mean, yes, that was an industry answer, but it also wasn't. That was you saying that you see the person that's walking in your doors. You see the person that's coming into your treatment room and you care about how they feel about themselves and how they're going into the world. And I love that because that is the industry that we are in. We are in the industry of building confidence and taking care of people. And that includes their hearts. So I love your heart in what you do every single day. I love that you bring your faith into the marketplace as well. That's something that our friend Alicia Merlot says all the time is
Yes.
her goal is to bring her faith into the marketplace, and you do it in such a nonchalant way. It's just a part of who you are, and your heart in the treatment room comes out in that. And I love that. And I'm really proud of you for staying true to who you are in this industry too and staying focused on the people that you are serving, whether that is through Instagram or whether that is actually in your treatment room through your business. You are just doing amazing,
Thank
girlfriend. I'm so
you.
proud of
I
you.
love it.
I
Yes.
want everybody to be able to find you. I know you dropped the handles at the beginning, but tell us again, how can people reach you, whether it's your Instagram handles, whatever you want to drop? How can people connect with you?
I want to draw my website I love my website because I have an amazing website guy,
Oh, he's
Jared.
our
So
website guy too.
yes, I think he's so awesome. Aesthetic conversion. And so my website is glowandgraceaesthetics.com. I'm going to have a shop on there so you can shop skincare. We'll ship it to you. We'll do local delivery if you're in the area that we're in. But yeah, so glowandgraceaesthetics.com. My Instagram handle, glow_underscore grace aesthetics. And then you'll see on there too my personal or my aesthetic one as well. So I post on Instagram a lot. I'm actually getting more on TikTok too. So I think
Oh,
it's
that's
glow
scary.
underscore grace aesthetics on TikTok as well. So
Yeah.
yes,
TikTok scares me. It's
it's a little
so
scary,
just,
but it's very, it's very
I
out
love
there.
it.
You kind of post
I,
what you want. You're just like, okay.
that's
But
so true.
Yeah.
I love it as a consumer, but as like a business person trying to like put my business out there, I feel like you have to post so much. So again, I'm proud of you for doing that too, because I feel like
Yes.
that's a jump. But you can be very off the wall on TikTok. You
Yeah.
can just post everything on there. I love
Yeah.
it.
And we do
Well,
virtual
everybody,
consultations too. So even if you're
oh,
not
awesome.
in Ocala, Central Florida area, we can do a virtual consultation. We can ship you product, and even recommend treatments for you to get in your area. So we love to
I
help
love
anyone.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. I love in our industry, I feel like we really are building this network across the United States where we have people that we can reach out to. Like in our case, if we have somebody that is near Scottsdale, Arizona, we can be like, hey, we know Victoria. We're going to send you to her in a way. And same thing with Florida. I can be like, I know Aubrey. You should go see
Yeah.
her. I trust her. I know her. So we're building this network across the United
Yes.
States. And you can ask either one of us. We will connect you with people in your area. I love that. Give Aubrey a call for virtual consultations and everything. Check out her website, follow her on Instagram, all of the things. Of course, connect with us over at Beyond Skin Aesthetics on Instagram. My Instagram is Skin by Delaney Danielle, or then the Bright Side of Beauty podcast as well on Instagram. I feel like we should do, so I should have planned ahead for this. I feel like we should do something fun on Instagram.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
we'll think of this. By the time that this
Mhm.
goes live, guys, we will have something fun that will go live on Instagram between the two of us.
Yes.
And so this is going to be a stay tuned. Go over to our Instagrams and follow us, and you'll see something pop up
Yes.
eventually. But Aubrey, thank you so much for joining us on the
Thank
bright side
you.
today. It's always fun to chat, and I can't wait to see you in real life real soon. I want
I
to say that we're
know.
in the same place in a couple of months. So
Yes,
can't
we
wait
are.
to see you
Can't
so
wait, girl.
soon. Bye, girlfriend.